Hello and welcome. My name is Petra Mayer of Petra Mayer and Associates Consulting, and I'm super thrilled to have with me here today Jennifer Deane. Jennifer Deane is the founder and principal of Jennifer Deane Coaching. She is a professional certified coach, consultant, and facilitator, and have had the pleasure to working with Jennifer in the past. Jennifer Deane Consulting provides one-to-one and group development solutions for public and private sector organizations that help leaders and teams to increase their self-awareness and leadership skills. Now, in recent years, they have specialized in helping their clients to accelerate gender-balanced leadership in their organizations. Specifically, Jennifer Deane Consulting's live interactive group coaching programs are designed to help women and other underrepresented populations manage their careers with a particular focus on developing their promotability skills. Now, I'm curious to learn more about what that really means. While at the same time, upskilling their leaders to facilitate development conversations and mentor, champion, and support them in their career advancement efforts. So that's a whole lot we have just discovered here about Jennifer and her organization, Jennifer Deane Consulting. Jennifer, you've had many twists and turns in your career. Tell us a little bit more about what you're doing today and how you got here.
Awesome. Yes. Well, all of the work that I've done over the past 20-ish years has really been about developing leaders. And essentially, it's through a number of different ways, through coaching and education is primarily it. So, I arrived here through, a lot of different roles, a lot of internal roles, external roles. And I'm at a point now where I'm really focused, as you said in my introduction, around really targeted support for leaders around career development, career advancement, and both from the perspective of the employee and helping their leader help them also progress, and really with this big pipe dream of making an impact and accelerating gender balanced leadership in our organizations and around the world.
And what a big topic that is right now, gender balance, but also you were talking about underrepresented populations. So it's a very big topic these days. And I'm sure that also drives some traffic to you and some inquiries to you. Now, what about working with leaders, and especially women in leadership roles, has been fascinating you in these years that you stuck to it and are now so much more focused on this too?
Yeah, well, actually, funnily enough, the thing that fascinates me is why there aren't more in leadership positions. And so I'm so fascinated by working with women, particularly because of their care and commitment. And often so much of what they do is really about making the world better and supporting others. But essentially, I've really been driven by this curiosity as to why there aren't more of us in sitting at more leadership tables making a difference. So, that's essentially why I've targeted the work there, because I firmly believe that when women are elevated and leadership is balanced, all populations will thrive, and and our organizations, communities, families, homes, everything will be better.
Awesome. And where do you think you can then make the biggest impact on your clients in the work that you're presently doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great question. A little while ago, took a step back and thought, what makes me different? And there's so many people doing work here and courses and programs and coaching. What I arrived at, and thank you to you for some of the support there, Petra, of helping me ask the right questions, was really about understanding that what I bring is a structure for facilitating and expediting the process of development. So where I come in with my programs and my coaching is to really help people create a structure, a plan, and then expedite the process of their own development. So that's really where I think I make the biggest difference with my programs and my coaching.
Now, you've mentioned programs and coaching. So you do one-on-one, but you also over the years now have developed your own coaching mentoring program. So tell us a little bit more about that and about the process that it took for you to get there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, making an impact one-on-one is very rewarding and, incredibly useful and important. However, to really scale and grow and to make a bigger impact, I asked myself, how can I do that? And it was through thinking about taking the process that I would go through one-to-one with someone and finding a way to bring that to a group of people, to bring it to more people, and to bring the tools and the structure to support that to happen on a larger scale. So I have, my own program, which I developed, and it focused around leadership identity. It's called Leader Stamp, and I've been delivering that now for about 3.5 years. It took some time to get traction in the market, but we're there. We've got some organizations on board, and then I've partnered a lot to
Mhm.
develop other programs as well as deliver other programs that other practitioners have developed. So there's really three different ways that I'm kind of making use of the programs, of the group programs, and the group coaching.
Mhm. So I want to go a little bit further into Leader Stamp because I
Mhm.
know when you were in the early stages of your development and we were working on some of those questions together, you could have gone in a mass market development of a leadership program that is maybe even self-study, but you've chosen not to. You've
Yeah.
chosen to go into a program that requires actually still a lot of your time. So
Yeah.
what made you choose that over the other option?
hmm Well, it was really through a process of, looking at what particularly the content was designed to do. I think there's some programs and some topics that can be achieved through self-study. When the program is around connecting to your leadership identity and asking yourself big questions, I felt, and through interviewing my clients and their experiences, that a little more support was called for in this case. And
Mm-hmm.
I kept coming back to this, and it sounded so almost selfish or self-aggrandizing to say they can't do it without me, but that essentially it was that they why do they have to? I found a way to help people do it, and have access to it. Even organizations have access to it at a more reasonable cost than one-on-one, but that they still have all the high touch elements of what a coaching program, I believe, should be, particularly when it's around big questions.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree with you, and I think that the likelihood that you get that transformation in your client that you're seeking to offer is much more likely in that sort of a setting than if somebody is left on their own devices and may get frustrated, may get lose interest, may we fall all in our own traps of, okay, the continuation and being self-motivated can sometimes be hard. So this is a great way to keep people motivated and to keep them discussing it, discovering together. I think that's a
Yes.
great way of doing it.
Yeah, can I add too? You brought up a great
Mm-hmm.
point there that I didn't say, but there, even though everybody's working on something that's very unique to themselves, there's so much power in having the group and the input and the learning and the collaboration and the connections and networking that came every course I deliver. The last question I get is, can you send us each other's contact information so we can
Mm-hmm.
connect outside? So
Yeah.
there's a lot of value there as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. The community that you're creating through that is something that is really valuable. And it's something that we can only create the space for it. And it has to automatically and organically
Yeah.
develop. And
Yes.
so you creating that space, kudos to you for that, Jennifer. Now, you
Mhm.
also mentioned that you are collaborating
Mhm.
with others
Mhm.
in aid the delivery of their programs, but also in co-developing programs. So tell us a little bit more about that and how you
Mhm.
got to that.
hmm Well, it started with realizing that it's really fun to collaborate and very fulfilling for me, particularly. So, wanting to have my work life be fulfilling, that became a goal for me. So I looked to create partnerships. And find like-minded practitioners, and have managed to develop an excellent network. You're part of it, Petra, and others. And so I started by developing another course with another coach, an individual, where we co-deliver and We have a complete program. It's called Promote Now, and that's a program very specifically for organizations to support both employees and their leaders through helping them through a process of career development and advancement. So that's been a really great way to collaborate, have fun, share resources, share expertise, and build a program with someone. So that's been great.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing that emerged through the process of being open was that there are so many practitioners that actually have excellent programs that straddle the work that I do, that I don't need to recreate the wheel, whereby I can partner and went through a process of learning alongside another coach their program, and then began now to also deliver that in partnership, and also on my own. So we've developed a relationship to be able to do that together. So it's been a really great expansion, creative way to do more delivery, to scale, and to find ways to partner and grow both of our businesses.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, and you said something that really struck me. It's that through that process of being open. And, it's not that we go into these kind of collaborations knowing exactly what we want, who we meet with. It is an exploration that can take years. I don't know how it went for you. Was this a longer term process? Was this something that happened in one conversation and you were writing it up on the back of a napkin, or how did
Definitely. It go? All of that. And sometimes a complete leap of faith to have built a relationship with someone of trust and then say, let's just go for this. And, we have some loose boundaries in place that protect us and that we make us feel, secure in our work together. And then let's go for this and see what happens, as well as, some more structured arrangements where that was called for and necessary. So I think that there's, it is about openness and being willing to jump on and leap at times, and other times recognize there needs to be something a little more formal.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, many professional advisors, like in your situation, would have felt a little threatened by those other professional advisors providing programs that are straddling, as you said, the content that you're delivering. Now, you chose to look at this differently. Tell us more.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in there's enough for us all, and even more when we get creative and think about how we can grow our impact together and scale together through, our openness and support. And so, I essentially looked at it as an opportunity to also learn and grow my skills, because even though I say it straddles what I do, every time, particularly that I learn someone else's content and I can deliver it, I'm actually adding to my own expertise. And so I think you can find ways to honor each other, to help each other scale and grow that has us all build versus, have that scarcity mindset.
Totally agree with you. Now, so you've created your own programs. You've co-created. You're also taking programs that were created by somebody else, you're delivering. So what do you want to share a little bit about that process of program creation, how you've experienced it, the challenges, the good things, the surprises?
Well, the most important thing is to not do any of it alone, even if you're creating your own program. So even in that instance, I had people like you and others to support me through that thinking and process, because it's not easy, and it requires structure, and it requires coaching, and it requires time and courage. So I think support is a common thread for all of those, all of the instances. I also would say that the creation is one thing and the selling is another. and I've learned the hard way, and will learn more hard ways, I'm sure, about maybe how I want to structure things, and learn through you and other mentors around this, some best practices. And I think that if you just try to go it alone, you miss that richness, and that people are so willing to share and help. And so those couple of things: don't do it alone. Draw on all your resources, and really, there's different skill sets for the building than there is necessary, for the selling, and you might need different supports for that.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Very true. It rings a lot of bells for me, because as you know, when I had my own programs, right now I'm not actually offering programs as such, but when I had my own programs, that the building was always something very natural to me, and it seems to be where I want to hang out in.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it's the sales and marketing side, you need to think about it strategically in the building process. But you do need to get that support to really be able to successfully market your programs. So that's something that is great and has all the foundations to make huge impact, that you actually have the opportunity to do it. And I think that's where a lot of people fall short, and where I did fall short, because that's not my strong suit. And my strong suit being more thinking about the strategy of marketing and selling, and how do you sell different styles of products and programs, but doing it and building that expertise recognition afterwards is something where you do need different type of experts. Couldn't agree more with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that comes to mind that might help for anyone thinking about this as a next step for them is, consider the thing that you're known for now, the best possible, the thing that people know you for already, and start there, because you're going to start selling this, anything you create, to the people that know you already and to your network. And so that's one thing that a small piece of advice I would give people. Yeah.
Particularly for the type of program that you develop, the higher end programs. Yeah. I agree. It's more a selling process than a marketing process. Yeah. So yes, you're knocking on people's doors, and if it's something that is totally unrelated to what you've been doing, it's a difficult message to bring across. Absolutely. And the program type and the strategy behind the sales marketing needs to be aligned. Yes. Absolutely. So now, in your collaboration with others, did you notice differences in how you approach creation or how you approach marketing when it's your own program versus when it is a collaborative approach?
Yeah, I think I learned more in collaborating on the program, and then I applied it to my existing program, and then I got some success. So I think it's a bit of a 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 3 steps forward. And tweaking along the way, making changes, even changing. The beauty though is once you've developed a content and a great program, it can have so many possibilities for tweaking and changing the small details of it. So it is valuable, every bit of it that you do.
Mm-hmm. And as you're saying this, what I'm thinking of as well is, so when you think about the program that you have and how it fits into your overall business strategy, did you notice any changes once you had the program in place as to how you interact with your clients?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think what I noticed is that I needed to be consistent in my everything around, around talking about the program, it was less now about just that I'm a coach, and more about always also talking about the virtual training and live programs that I have. So I think I changed the way that I see myself as way more than just one person, and and even was able to attract team members and grow the business that way, because I now had something bigger than me. So it actually changed my own mindset, and I think that people could feel it, and I attribute some of the success to the way I spoke about myself, my business, and my work.
Wow, impressive. Jennifer, I thank you so much for your time. I know you have a hard stop, so I appreciate you sharing your content with us, or your information with us, and for others to start thinking about, you're more than what you are now.
Mm.
You can do this. You can scale up. You can bring programs out to your audience that will value them. And collaboration is a great way to grow personally and professionally.
Absolutely, Petra. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. It was wonderful to have you.
Okay.